Zara grew up in the serene town of Willow Creek, a place of quiet charm where her father was the town's beloved pastor. Faith and tradition were the cornerstones of her upbringing, shaping her into a kind and compassionate soul. Yet, beneath her composed from the day she could walk, Amara had been different from the other royal children. While others were adorned with delicate gowns and trained in the arts of diplomacy and etiquette, Amara was wrapped in sturdy armor, her hands calloused from the sword, her legs strong from hours of archery practice. Her father, King Hadrian, revered strength above all else, and he raised his daughter to embody the ideals of a warrior. One day, at a lavish banquet, Amara's parents invited a young duke from Eldoria. His title was prestigious, and his family wealth rivaled that of her own. As he approached Amara with a polite smile, she noted his eyes narrowing at the sight of her broad frame. Alone in the heart of the forest, Dici gave birth under the shelter of trees. The cries of her newborn son echoed through the jungle, a beacon of life and hope in the wilderness. She held him close, naming him Kelechi, meaning "thank God," as tears of joy and relief streamed down her face. Months passed, and the Nzuri family made their home in a remote village at the foot of a mountain, hidden from the world. Abena, with her newfound powers, had become a force to be reckoned with. Her healing abilities had grown stronger, and the villagers she had helped began to speak of her in hushed, reverent tones. Yet in her heart, Abena still burned with the need to return to Okoro and reclaim her family's honor. One day, without hesitation, Amara notched an arrow and took aim. The bandits fell one by one, their weapons clattering to the ground as they fled into the woods. The man, shaken but unharmed, turned to Amara. His eyes widened in awe as he took in her imposing figure and battle-ready stance. The days after the wedding were unbearable for Zara. The once friendly smiles of her neighbors turned to cold stares and whispers. The town, which had once held her in high regard, now judged her harshly for her hidden past. That night, Chiamaka lay in bed, but she couldn't sleep as questions flooded her mind. What was Obina doing in that room, and why was it so important to him that she stayed away? She asked herself. She knew one thing for certain. This house, her new life, was not what she had imagined. Kyle shared his knowledge of the healing arts, teaching Amara about the properties of plants and herbs. In return, Amara spoke of her training, her dreams, and the weight of being a princess who could not seem to find a partner who valued her for who she truly was. Chiamaka knew there were secrets hidden within the mansion. Secrets her husband was desperate to keep locked away. Every day she grew more determined to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. Queen Nea watched silently as the king declared Dici and Kelechi part of the royal family. Her fury was barely contained. Though she could not defy the king's decree, her cold gaze promised that she would not forget or forgive this defiance. Her schemes began to brew in the shadows. Despite the queen's disdain, Dici and Kelechi began their new life in the palace. The young boy, curious and full of energy, explored the grand halls with wonder. Dici, though cautious, found moments of joy as she watched her son grow in a place she never thought she would belong. In a quiet moment under the stars, Alex proposed to Zara. Tears welled up in her eyes as she realized that for the first time, she could truly let on their wedding day. Joseph proudly walked his mother down the aisle. The once fractured family was now whole, and Sarah's heart swelled with love as she saw Alex waiting for her at the altar. Their new life together was filled with laughter and love. Joseph embraced his role as a big brother when Sarah gave birth to twin girls, their home filled with the sound of giggles and the warmth of a family that had weathered the storm. With Alex's encouragement, Sarah and Joseph moved into a new home, where they could truly begin their lives as a family. The house was modest, but it quickly became a place filled with love, warmth, and the promise of new beginnings. Joseph quickly adapted to his role as a big brother, delighting in making his twin sisters laugh. He would spend hours playing with them, his once guarded heart now wide open to the joy of family. On weekends, the family would spend time at the park, enjoying simple pleasures like picnics, games, and laughter. These moments became cherished memories, a testament to how far they had come together. One afternoon, Esther decided to clear the overgrown backyard bushes, desperate for a distraction from her growing unease. To her horror, she stumbled upon the shrine. The sight of her hairbrush and photograph stopped her cold. "What is this?" she whispered, her voice trembling. Dumby watched from the kitchen window, her face impassive as she prepared for the confrontation to come. One night, when Chiamaka could no longer bear the suspense, she decided to confront Obina. But what she learned that night shattered everything she thought she knew about him and the house. The forbidden room wasn't just a place. It was a prison, and she had been its next captive all along.